This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
In the world of cricket, there are two kinds of batsmen. Those who know where their off stump is and those who don't. My guest today is Rahul Dravid, one batsman who actually belongs to the rare breed who know where the off stump is. Rahul, welcome to Walk the Talk.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you find yourself on a familiar pitch. This is your old school, I believe. This is where you cut your cricketing teeth.
Yeah, this is. It's nice to be back here. It's St. Joseph's Boys High School. It's where I sort of grew up, and right from the 4th to the 10th standard, I spent a lot of time here. Played a lot of sport here, apart from cricket and hockey and football. And yeah, it was probably a place where I got a lot of encouragement when I was young and sort of grew up here.
And the school has a real sporting tradition. I believe cricket. You've produced many cricketers and many hockey players, athletes.
We have actually. We've had a few cricketers who've gone on to represent Karnataka and India. People like Carlton Saldana, Sadanand Vishwanath. Some of the other younger Ranji Trophy players have come from here. Hockey players, people like Sandeep Somesh and Anil Aldrin.
Who played for India at the Olympics, I think,
yeah,
or the World Cup.
Anil actually captained India in the Indian hockey team. So yeah, there's a lot of tradition for sport here. It's a great place because they encourage. It's not only very good in the academics, which is needless to say, but they do encourage sport.
The last couple of decades, Bangalore has done really well on the sports scene. I think even in cricket, Karnataka has done very well. There was a time when I think half the team came from Karnataka.
Yeah, we've had a good run over the last decade or so. I think it's moved a little in cycles. I think we had a very good run in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
When we had great people like Prasanna and Chandrasekhar Kirmani and Brijesh Patel, Roger Binney.
Right.
People like that. And then we went through a period where we didn't win the Ranji Trophy for about 13-14 years. And then this young new batch of came through, people like Anil and Sri. I think Anil and Sri sort of set the trend.
Anil
Kumble and
right.
Srinath, they sort of set the trend for the next young generation.
I mean, you produced very good bowlers at one time. The entire Indian attack came from Karnataka.
Exactly. We had Anil, Srinath, Joshi and Prasad, in some sides, which was probably the Karnataka attack. So that sort of that whole bunch of us came together, and then we worked hard together, and we had a good system, and that sort of worked very well. Then again, now I think for a period of time we've sort of looking to rebuild again. A lot of young boys coming to the side. And so yeah, I think
are you still getting to play domestic cricket?
Not so much, not as much as probably I'd like to, in the sense that because the amount of international cricket we've played over the last 2.5-3 years, I haven't played enough cricket. So sometimes when I go back, to the nets to see some of the Ranji boys, I see totally new faces, boys I don't recognize at all. Yeah, but it's nice to always go back and have a chance to chat with your colleagues in the Ranji side, and it's always fun. You can pass on a bit of your knowledge.
But really, the facilities here, when you started to play, would not have been up to scratch, or did the school did provide you something?
Well, they did provide you the basic net and the mat, which helped. I think facilities have improved over the years, especially.
And this is your main sports ground in the school.
Yeah, this is the main ground. We played cricket at the ground on the other side, where they put up a mat and the net for us. But this is where we had our sports days, and this is where we sort of played hockey and things like that. But yeah, I think facilities generally in Bangalore have improved over the years. I think even at the cricket stadium, even at the KSCA, and even at in other venues, those facilities have generally improved, and which I think has also led to the improvement in cricketers.
I believe you played hockey as well at a fairly serious level.
I played for school. I played for the school because I enjoyed being sort of sporting oriented. I enjoyed being part of teams, and I enjoyed being part of.
And what position did you play in hockey?
I played in the centre half position in hockey. I played for 3 or 4 years.
Centre half is the pivot.
Yeah, it was.
So it's very similar to the role you play in the Indian cricket team.
Well, I don't know whether I was put there because I couldn't score goals, or whether I was put there as a pivot. I don't know, but I enjoyed playing hockey. I really enjoyed.
Well, I mean, the centre half really is the position of somebody who indulges in a lot of self-denial. I mean, he gets the ball and passes on to somebody else.
Exactly.
Creates opportunities, or he keeps an eye on the other side's centre forward. Now that's very similar to what you do in cricket. Rahul Dravid walks out 6 for 1 or 3 for 1, and then Rahul Dravid is around 44 for 4 or 4, that's the usual Indian score line when we are playing overseas. So does that come?
I wouldn't agree. I mean,
does that come naturally to you?
Quite well lately. No, yeah, I think it does. I think I enjoy being. I've always enjoyed being a pivot or like a central role, and I think I find a lot of satisfaction and sort of joy in doing that kind of role. And I think probably it's just something that's probably been shaped in my personality from a young age.
You've done very well as a cricketer, and you're a great star. And we all read stories and television interviews from all over India on how many people, particularly women, were disappointed when you got married. So you are a big star. Cricket has been very kind to you. But do you think that the role that you play, that of the pivot, it it makes you some kind of a part tragic character, in the sense that, whenever you get a big score, somebody else gets a bit more. I think you said after one of your matches that you've got very few Man of the Match awards.
No, I didn't say that. I actually didn't say that. I don't
No,
look at it.
you did not say it as a complaint. I think you said it to make the point that this one was so special.
No, to be honest, I enjoy. I mean, I enjoy that. I think cricket, like you said, cricket's been very kind to me. Cricket's been great for me. And when people keep telling me, oh, you don't get enough credit and stuff. And I say I get more credit than I think I do. I get a huge
Well,
amount.
this is an occupational hazard, so I think you are.
Thank you. I do get a huge amount of credit. I think I've had my fair share of articles written about me or focus on me.
Right.
And I think in the end of the day, in a team sport, the limelight has got to be shared.
Right.
And it must be shared, and that's the way team sports work, and that's the way team sports function. And I'm very happy with what I've received, and I'm.
What is the problem with Indian batting? Why is it not able to handle fast bowling, particularly when it goes overseas? Is that the main reason we haven't won overseas very much?
A combination of reasons. I think it's also obviously the batting's been a big factor in the sense that we haven't been able to post big enough scores at a lot of times. And also I think you need the ability, fighting for the fast bowling ability to get 20 wickets on tracks abroad, which makes a huge difference. At the end of the day, bowlers win you test matches. I mean, batsmen can only set up test matches.
Well, that's not something Bishan Singh Bedi agrees with. He says it's a batsman's game.
Well, it may be true. It might be a batsman's game, but in the end of the day, only 20 wickets win you a test match.
Right.
And you can have a batsman who can score 500 runs. Or you can have a team that scores 600. Even look at the England series. I mean, we scored 600 there a couple of times, or England scored 600.
But you could not get the other side out.
Exactly. And in the end of the day, you need the quality kind of bowling to get teams out. You look at the great teams of the past. We talk of the West Indies, who were the great teams in the 80s, and you look at
Australia until last year,
and you'll see that obviously they have had good batsmen. They've had very good batsmen, but they've also had fantastic bowlers who've been able to get teams
Well, Pakistan were very good when they had Imran and Akram
and exactly. So in the end of the day, I mean, you need people who can get teams out. And I think we're doing well now. We're working. I think we've had good results over the last 1.5 years. I think things are looking to improve.
Well, you owe your fame. I mean, you were doing very well, but you owe that big head start on the sort of fame graph to a fast bowler, Alan Donald. What happened at Durban? I think it was at 6 you hit over long on, and there were some words exchanged.
I mean, it was in the heat of the moment, and in the end of the day, Alan Donald is probably one of the finest bowlers I've played against. One of the finest fast bowlers I've played against. He was a terrific competitor and a very good bowler at his peak. And just got. I think it was quite a crucial game. It was the final, and
Right.
things got heated up a bit. And don't think he expected me of all the people to hit him for 6.
Well, nobody did.
Yeah, maybe I didn't either. No, it just. I'm probably just. Obviously.
And what happened? He came at 4 at you? I mean, he tried
to be honest,
knock your head off, or?
I think he said something about it being a tough game and how he was going to do this. But in the end of the day, I've realized that I think in the end of the day, if you get somebody angry, if you get a bowler angry at the other end, I think you won half the battle because I find that I play best when I'm relaxed and when I don't react and when I can just keep.
But can you get a bowler angry and keep your own cool?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. If you can do that, then I think you won half the battle. Half the time.
But were there occasions when you lost your cool?
There have been, but over a period of trial and error, I've kind of realized that it works best for me if I don't lose my cool, and I perform best in that kind of situation. So I worked over it and tried not to react.
In fact, it was a Donald episode that got you your nickname, The Wall, is it?
No,
and your first commercial, I remember. Fast bowlers swear at Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid swears by my product. Something like that.
To be honest, I don't know where the exact sort of genesis of the name or these names come from. And these names keep changing, Shekhar. I mean, in the end of the day, one day you call the wall, and one day they say the wall is crumbling. So I don't take these things too seriously,
and one day they said you were a slow coach, and one day they said without you the team can't survive.
Exactly. So I think you realize in cricket, it being such a passionate sport in this country, and it being so sort of watched by so many people. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a view. And these things sort of change with your performances. And I think in the end of the day, you've got to realize that you've got to play the game and do it to the best of your ability and not worry about.
But what does set you apart is the fact that you can handle fast bowling. I remember the match. I think it was at Perth when Brett Lee was bowling really fast, and Ramesh had got hit. And I think that evening, Far was really flying, and you shielded him.
It was Melbourne. I mean,
Melbourne.
Probably
He was
the
injured.
quickest spell of bowling that I faced. I think Lee was probably at the quickest I've played. In terms of
Was it his debut match or thereabouts?
thereabouts. I think it was
Thereabouts,
debut
yes.
series.
Right.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways I've been a little lucky. I've been played in Bangalore because a lot of my cricket was played on matting. A lot of my initial cricket was played in matting wickets where the ball does tend to bounce a bit more than normal. And when I was growing up, I had a chance to play people like Srinath and Venki, at their best in the nets regularly, which I think definitely helped me in terms of help my batting and helping, because I knew that if I was playing Srinath confidently in the nets, and Srinath was an international bowler.
It did help at that time when you were growing up. Karnataka had a very good fast attack.
It definitely helped. It definitely helped that we had a good young team and that everyone was very keen on doing well. Everyone was keen on working hard, and we all worked hard together, and that definitely made a big difference.